So let's go to Dynamics NAV 2017, and we're going to be looking at the Kronos US database here. This is a test database, a sample database that's shipped with a product. And what we want to look at is location. So we're going to go to Departments, Warehousing Administration, and we're going to go to Locations. And there are several locations that are set up out here within the test database, and I'm going to create a brand new one. So I'm going to call this main, and we're going to call it main, and we'll give it an address. I'm going to expand the tab for communications, and we're going to ignore this area for right now. But the area that we really want to take a look at are the next two. So at the warehouse tab and the bins and the bin policies tabs are what we want to look at. And since this is a brand new warehouse setup, I can actually check almost any of these boxes that I want to. Notice that directed putaways and picks is not enabled right now. I can't select it until I select bin mandatory. Once I select bin mandatory, then this becomes available to actually pick. But with the brand new warehouse, I can go through here and I can hand pick most of these. When I pick require put away here, then the use the put away worksheet appears. So I can select and I can unselect any of these that I want to because this is a brand new warehouse. One of the things that I want you to notice is that this area down at the bottom has receipt, shipment, production, and it has a receipt bin, a shipment bin, an adjust bin. It has all of these various bins that are available here, but I can't do anything with any of these because they're actually grayed out right now. And when I click this button here that says bins mandatory, then I can click directed putaways and picks. And when I do that, these now all come to life and I can actually select various bins for all of these. I can also unselect this right now. And so I have complete control over this at the moment because there are no transactions that have taken place in this warehouse at this point in time. So let's talk about what is a basic warehouse configuration versus an advanced configuration. So if I select directed picks and putaways, notice that it has selected all of these other buttons for me. It's grayed them out. I can't do anything with them. With this choice selected, this is considered to be advanced warehousing. And this opens up all of the potential of Dynamic NAV's warehousing system. We're going to be discussing in this video the other options. So when this is not selected, then I have all of these other options here that I can select individually and I can turn on and off. And this is considered to be basic warehousing. I'd like to highlight some of the pros and cons of a basic warehouse configuration. Number one, it limits complexity by selecting individual warehouse documents. So I can select which warehouse documents that I want to use and which ones I don't. I can create a pick, I can select to use a pick or a put away, but I don't have to do those things. Basic warehousing allows posting from the source documents, which eliminates extra steps, makes the system more streamlined, easier to use. Inventory transactions are real time. When something is done in a basic warehousing system, inventory is automatically reflected in the GL, in the quantity on hand, and so on and so forth. And it requires less time to train warehouse employees. On the pros side, or on the con side, bins are available, but they're not required. Bin policies are not available. This limits functionality. So without bin policies, I cannot determine the cubage that I can put in a particular bin. I'm not able to do a lot of the things that I can do with replenishing bins and so on and so forth. Zones are not available. Picks and putaways are not required. They're optional. I can use them or not use them. And there's a very nice feature in the advanced warehousing system that will allow me to replenish bins based upon a min-max, and that's not available with a basic warehousing configuration. One of the nice things about a basic warehouse is that I can change the way that it operates after I have it set up. The one choice that is really critical, even with a basic warehouse, is whether bins are mandatory. And I've checked this box. And once I begin doing transactions in this warehouse, with bins mandatory, I cannot uncheck the box. So this is a permanent choice, even for a basic warehouse. The other ones can be changed on the fly. I always suggest that you use bins mandatory because I think it's critical that we know where the material is in our warehouse. Obviously, that choice is up to you, but my selection or my choice is always to select this when I'm setting up any warehouse. To illustrate this point, what I'm going to do is close this up, and we're going to go to the blue warehouse here. And if you notice, the blue warehouse is configured with virtually nothing checked, and you can operate a basic warehouse this way. But this has been operating, and I can change required receive, required ship. I can require a pick, I can require putaways. I can change these on the fly. What I can't change is this bin mandatory because there have already been transactions here. And as you can see, this gives me an error. It says there are more than one or more ledger entries here. So I can't make this change to bins being mandatory after I start using the warehouse. But the other options are available to change kind of on the fly, depending upon whether or not you like the configuration you have or you don't. You can go in and customize these to suit your needs on the fly. Before I can use a warehouse, I have to create bins, and so there are no zones available in a basic warehouse, but you can create a schema, for example, like the one that I have here, where I have bin A100. This is bin 100 in zone A, and I have A101. This is bin 101 in zone A, and then I can create B100, and this would be zone B. And this has been 100, 101, and so on and so forth. So you can create a schema to help you divide your warehouse up, even in a basic warehousing schema, but you have to have bins before you can do anything with your warehouse. So let's escape out of here, and we'll go back to our menu, and notice we have require put away and require picks checked on this warehouse. I'm just going to say OK here, and we'll pop out of this. And what I want to do now is I want to go to purchase orders, and to save a little time, I've already created a couple purchase orders out here. So I've created purchase order 106.026, and I'm just going to open this up. And in this particular purchase order, what I want to do is I'm just going to navigate here for 1 sec, and there are no inventory putaways that have been selected for this. So notice on the line, this order has not been released, so I'm going to release it. Notice on the line it says quantity to receive is 10. So this has to be filled in order for anything to work here. Let's just assume that I wanted to receive a quantity of 5 here. I could switch this to 5. And now it's going to be quantity to receive 5, quantity to invoice 5. And once I actually process this document, it will say quantity not to receive, but received, and quantity invoice, not to invoice. So once we actually process this through, this will fill in these items for us. So we can actually process things directly from the document here. We don't have to create any warehouse documents for anything. We actually can simply post from here. There are other inventory setups that need to be done for this. For example, we need to set up the inventory posting group for this new warehouse that we've set up. So I can look at inventory posting groups. And you can see that I have finished, raw, and sales here. And I'm going to look at in my inventory posting setups, as you can see for main, I've now set up finish, raw, and resale. And so I've completed this setup for inventory posting groups here. That should allow us now to actually do transactions with this location. So let's just take a look at how this actually works. So I'm going to go to purchasing and purchase orders, and I've set up a couple of purchase orders out here. So I have 106026, and I've set this up, and it's in my main location, a quantity of 10 of these to receive. And if you notice in this line or this field that's out here, it says quantity to receive. I've entered 5 because I have a quantity of 10, but I only want to receive 5. If I want to receive 7, I could put in 7 here, and notice it switches my quantity to invoice to 7 as well. So I'm going to leave this at 5. I could put in 10 if I wanted to receive them all, but I want to leave this line when I'm done. So I have a released purchase order, and I have a couple of options here. I can just receive, or I can receive and invoice. If I want to receive an invoice, I need my vendor's invoice number on this document. So to make this work, to process this, I can do it directly from the document. I can simply go to post or post and print, and I can tell it I want to receive, I want to invoice, or I want to receive and invoice. I'm going to pick just receive here, and I'm going to click OK. And this has now processed this document, and notice it now says that it has a quantity received of 5. These 5 are now in inventory. So this is really all that I needed to do to make the transaction work from a basic warehouse. A couple of things that I want you to notice here. We've received 5 of these, but the quantity invoice is still 10, and we haven't invoiced any of them. We've only done a receipt on these. If you remember from the warehouse setup that we did on this, we had to check the boxes that said require put away, and we did not do a put away for this. We've just received them, and we've actually told them what bin location they're going to go into based on the bin location on the line. So the checkbox that says require put away is a suggestion. It's not really required. So if I wanted to complete this purchase order 106026, I still have a quantity to receive of 5, and I have a quantity to invoice still of 10 here. So what I can do with this document is I can simply go out and tell it that I want to receive an invoice. That means it will receive the remaining amount, and it'll invoice everything that's here. And this particular purchase order 106026 will then be gone. So I can just click this button. This is posting these. It says the order has been posted and moved to posted purchase invoices. Do you want to see it? I can say yes. And this will actually take me over to my posted purchase invoice for this transaction that just took place. So I'm going to close this posted purchase invoice. And if you notice, I've gone to 106027 in my purchase orders. This is another one that I've created here. So if we go back out to our list, 106026 has actually, it's actually gone. Once I refresh my list view, because I had the list open, it wasn't gone. But when I refreshed it, that is gone. It's now a posted invoice. And I have another one that I've created here. And in this illustration, I want to do something slightly different here. So we have a quantity to receive of 10, and this is a different item that we have out here. And what I want to do with this is a released order. I have a invoice number on it. And what I can do is go to Actions, and I can create an inventory pick or put away. So I want to create an inventory put away for this particular transaction. So I'm simply going to click OK to create the put away document. It says number of invoice put away activities created 1 out of 1. So I've created a put away document for this. Now what's the significance of this? Well, the significance is that I can now navigate to this, and I could print this put away document out so that I could give it to my warehouse employees. I'm going to print this, and it may not be very pretty, but we'll print it anyway. And Here we can send this out to the warehouse. They can write in the bin code that they have and the actual quantity that they handled. So if they actually had 10 on hand, they can enter 10, and they can write the bin code in on this paperwork so that it can be turned into management. So the warehouse employee finds the appropriate bin location, writes it down on here. We come back in and they enter in the bin code where they actually are placing this. Let's say they're placing it in A101. Now they have a quantity to handle here, and this could be, maybe they only found 5 of these. They could put in 5. If I had a whole list of items that were on this purchase order, one of the things that I can do is I can just click this autofill and it will automatically fill the purchase orders considering the fact that I've received all of it. So I have this item with a bin location and the quantity to handle, and now I'm actually ready to post this document. So again, I can select post, or I can select post and print. I'm going to select post here. And this gives me the same options as I had before. I can receive, or I can receive an invoice. I'm going to just pick receive here because I want you to see that it will, if I pick receive an invoice, the purchase order will be complete, it'll be gone. So I'm just going to select receive. And this has gone out and done the receipt for me. And if you notice, it brings me back to the purchase order. And I have now, instead of quantity to receive, I have actually received 10 of these. Now from here, I can enter in my vendor purchase order number, whatever it may be, or invoice number. And from here, I can finish this transaction by simply posting it here and just invoicing because it's already been completely received. So I could have received it and invoiced it from the put away, or I can do it as a second step here. I'm going to just invoice this, and this document is now created, is complete. It's been moved to the posted purchase invoices. So the same basic process also applies on the sales side document. So if we exit out of here and we go to sales and marketing order processing sales orders, I have created a sales order out here already. This is to the Deerfield Graphics Company, and I'm going to sell one of these items that we just received, this item number 1900. It's a frame. I'm going to sell 2 pieces of this. What I want to do is I want to navigate to this item for just a moment, and then I want to look at availability by location, and we're talking about the main location, and we received 10, so I have a quantity of 10 on hand. I have 2, a gross requirement, and this is the sales order that we just created. And then the projected available balance is going to be 8. So as you can see that when we received those items, they directly went into inventory and they are available to sell. So what I'm going to do is close this up. Now I have a couple of ways that I can do this. Again, the quantity to ship is what's going to regulate this if I want to post this directly from the sales order. If I had quantity to ship here of 1, I could enter 1. And then we would simply go up to the Actions tab here and, to the Home tab, and then we'd be able to actually process this document by clicking Post. And as we've noticed before, we can ship, we can invoice, or we can ship an invoice here. Same kind of thing that we had with the purchase orders where we could receive or receive an invoice. I want to take this one step farther and not do it just from here, but we'll do this from the pick. So we can create a pick document to send out to the warehouse so that our warehouse employees can find this merchandise. It will show them what bin location it's in, and then they can actually pick the product and get it ready for shipment. So we're going to go to the Actions tab, and then we're going to pick Create Inventory, Put Away, and Pick. When we're dealing with basic warehouse functionality, everything is an inventory document as opposed to a warehouse document. So we're going to click this icon, create an inventory pick, and we're just going to say OK. And it says number of inventory pick activities created, 1 out of 1, so we have a pick. And now what we can do is we can navigate to that pick. This is the pick. We can look at the card, and this is our inventory pick document. So we can print this, and I'm going to just preview it, but you could print this. You could send this out to the warehouse, and notice it tells the warehouse employee that this is in bin A100, and we're looking for a quantity of 2 of them. So if there are multiple lines here, the employee could write down the quantity that they've actually picked to get ready for the shipment, bring this up to the shipping area, and then this information can be posted in Dynamics NAV. So once the warehouse worker returns to the shipping office or wherever they're going to be do this from their computer, they can enter the quantity to handle here. So I can hand enter the quantity of 2 to ship. Or if I have a lot of lines here and I'm shipping this order complete, I can go to Actions, Autofill Quantity to Handle. When I click this, it will automatically update this button to 2. So either way will get the job done for us here. So I have this document completed. The pick is ready to post. So I can go to this tab and I can post in print or post. And here I'm just going to ship the product. So I'm going to say OK. And that is completed, and now my pick is gone. And if I go back to my sales order, I have my quantity to ship is now 0, quantity shipped is 2, and this is ready to invoice. Whenever I'm ready to actually do the invoicing of this, I can do this through the standard method as we did before. We can go to the Actions, Post, and we can just simply invoice this now because it has been completely shipped. If we navigate to our item and we take a look at what we have available here, so if we look at item availability by location, now you can see that we have 8 in inventory. This has already shipped, so it's already taken it out of inventory because we've actually posted that pick document. So this is basically how basic warehousing works. I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you have, please subscribe to our channel, and thank you very much for viewing. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, remember to click below and subscribe for more.